Grouse Mountain near Vancouver, British Columbia.
Vancouverites and their visitors can enjoy snow sports on the North Shore Mountains.
One of the most spectacular views in North America.
Every winter season begins the same way, with the first tracks. But reaching those tracks wasn't always easy. In the early days of Grouse Mountain, skiers hiked all the way up the mountain just to earn their turns, before the tram, before the chairs. This is where it all began. The first recorded non-indigenous hikers named it Grouse Mountain, after the blue grouse birds they spotted on the trail.
You know, there wasn't always an easy way up the mountain. There wasn't a gondola or a tramway up. People hiked up.
By 1926, the mountain became a little easier to reach. William Shelley funded the Grouse Mountain Highway, eliminating the full-day hike, and the first lodge opened.
One of our access points to get up, it's about a 14-kilometer switchback old logging road that takes you right to the peak office here. At one point in the early teens, they were planning on building an inclined railway to the top of the mountain. And then World War I hit and there was a steel shortage.
For steel is the armed forces' might, the might that must bring ultimate victory.
Came up again in the late 30s, early 40s. And then all of a sudden there was another steel shortage from World War II.
On Grouse Mountain near Vancouver, British Columbia, after a spring snowfall, it takes a snowplow to clear the way for the good old summertime.
Grouse was one of the first spots for people to start skiing in the area here. And in 1949, they put in a double chairlift that used to run from Skyline Drive in North Vancouver up to the bottom of what's called the Cut.
There was a village of different cabins, privately owned, as well as a little chalet that people could take the chair up and stay for the weekend, stay for the night, have dinner, and they'd walk up and down the Cut.
Look, he's coming down. She's in the air. It's landing. Whoops, my dear.
The Thai ski runners installed the first rope tow, giving skiers a lift to the top of the Cut. Grouse Mountain became a classroom as well as a playground. Through the Vancouver Sun Ski School, more than 8,000 people learned to ski between 1950 and 1964.
I remember how proud I was when I got those skis. I definitely remember that. That was a big step forward. That it's a safety binding.
I'm Gerda. I live at the bottom of Grouse Mountain since 1977.
Now this is one of the nicest, biggest ski club cabins anywhere. Like, look at this spacious room, and it's still cozy. But that's enough space for the kids to hang out when they come in for their breaks, when they come in from racing. It still has a wood stove in here, which is great.
So Gerda Koch actually was one of my first bosses here on the mountain in the snow school. She is such a phenomenal skier and such a passionate individual about snow sports and making sure that everybody has an opportunity to get on the snow.
This is a very old Thai ski club sign. Because Grouse Mountain was pretty much started with the ski club, or the ski club started with Grouse Mountain.
When we moved here, immediately I went for an interview at Grouse Mountain, and it was snowing up here. I came up the tram, and boy, it was so nice. And I just hoped that I would get that job, and I got the job. And I remember I was elated.
The top of the peak is a famous view. And every time you get to the top of the peak, you just think, it's so great to be up here.
Of course, moved up the ladder into supervising and assistant to Arnold Johnson. Arnold Johnson was, in my opinion, the man that made Grouse Mountain. Before Arnold Johnson, skiing was not that popular. Most people didn't ski in Vancouver.
Back back in the early days, we used what was called GLM, Graduated Length Method, and that actually goes back to Arnold Johnson, who ran a really successful snow school here. And a lot of people you meet in the city today will tell you that they learned to ski at Grouse Mountain.
He looked down on that city of non-skiers, and he became the ski school director, ran his own ski school, and was extremely progressive in promoting skiing.
He started the Grouse Mountain Ski School and then actually had a really big part in developing and ensuring that everybody had the ability to ski, and helped co-found the Disabled Skiers Association of British Columbia, which then became the Vancouver Adaptive Snow Sports.
And Arnold Johnson didn't stop there. He went to the schools, and that started school programs in a big way. And now everybody, every mountain, every ski school is running school programs, but that was a new thing. It was a ski lesson factory. It was a conveyor belt of putting out new skiers.
From the first footprints in fresh snow to the lifts and trails we know today, Grouse Mountain has always been about the journey. By 1966, decades of footsteps and determination had prepared the mountain for its boldest transformation yet.